How Trump Killed Tens of Thousands of Americans, a blow-by-blow account of his personal role in the coronavirus catastrophe. A proactive CDC testing program, lacking presidential support, never got off the ground. Nor did a separate national testing plan organized by Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, which was supposed to be presented for Trump's approval but, for unknown reasons, was never announced. Vanity Fair: How Jared Kushner's secret testing plan went poof into thin air, https://www. vanityfair.com/news/2020/07/ How Jared Kushner's secret testing plan went poof into thin air. Most troubling of all, perhaps, was a sentiment the expert said a member of Kushner's team expressed, that because the virus had hit blue states hardest, a national plan was unnecessary and would not make sense politically. The political folks believed that because it was going to be relegated to Democratic states, that they could blame those governors, and that would be an effective political strategy, said the expert. As far as I'm concerned, these are the worst parts of it. 1. He often brags that he spent $2 trillion to beef up the military. But he squeezed the budget for pandemics, disbanded the federal team in charge of protecting the country from biological threats, and stripped down the Beijing office of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In early February, trade advisor Peter Navarro, biomedical research director Rick Bright, and other officials warned of impending shortages of these supplies. Azar would later claim that during this time, everyone in the administration was pleading for more equipment. But when Azar requested $4 billion to stock up, the White House refused. Trump dismissed the outcry for masks and ridiculed Democrats for forcing money on him to buy supplies. They say, "Oh, he should do more," the president scoffed in an interview on February. "There's nothing more you can do." Trump didn't just ignore warnings. He suppressed them. In the 3 weeks after his February 26 crackdown on his subordinates, Trump opposed or obstructed every response to the crisis. The president's most decisive contribution to the death toll was his resistance to public health measures known as mitigation, social distancing, school and workplace closures, and cancellations of large gatherings. Messonnier and others had warned since early February that Americans needed to prepare for such measures. On February 24, Trump's health advisors decided it was time to act. But they couldn't get a meeting with Trump, because he was off to India to discuss another trade deal. When he returned, he blew up at Messonnier for talking about closing schools and offices. The meeting to discuss mitigation was cancelled. Fauci, Birx, Redfield, and other health officials pointed out that mitigation was working. They argued against premature resumption of in-person social activities, noting that the virus wasn't under control and might roar back. Trump publicly overruled them, tried to discredit them, and pressured them to disavow their words. To block Fauci from disputing Trump's assurances that the virus was going away, the White House barred him from doing most TV interviews. And now we have at least 5 million Americans infected from this and well over 150,000 dead. CDC data shows 200,700 excess deaths. https://www. cdc.gov/nchs/nvss/vsrr/covid19/excess_deaths. htm https://www. Mediaite.com/news/CDC data shows 207,000 excess deaths during coronavirus pandemic, far eclipsing 160,000 confirmed death count. And it gets worse. https://gis. cdc.gov/grasp/flavio/mortality. HTML. Look at that massive spike of pneumonia deaths. And it gets worse. If you click on the states button and then click on most of the states that were having a large spike of COVID-19 deaths, such as Florida and Texas, you will notice how within the last week or two, as the COVID-19 deaths went down, pneumonia deaths soared. Not only did Trump kill tens of thousands of Americans, but we are being lied to about how many are actually dying from COVID-19. This needs to be produced as a prime-time television special. Every single detail, in a methodically chronological order along with as much archived video footage as possible. No fluff, no unnecessary side stories to dilute things. This needs to be seen and experienced as it occurred, and it needs to happen during or before October. Again, this isn't strictly a Trump problem, this is a GOP problem. Study finds that state-level right-wing politics have decreased life expectancy by 2-3 years in the United States. https://www. Milbank.org/quarterly/articles/us state policies politics and life expectancy/ Context: life expectancy in the United States has increased little in previous decades, declined in recent years, and become more unequal across U.S. states. Those trends were accompanied by substantial changes in the U.S. policy environment, particularly at the state level. State policies affect nearly every aspect of people's lives, including economic well-being, social relationships, education, housing, lifestyles, and access to medical care. This study examines the extent to which the state policy environment may have contributed to the troubling trends in U.S. life expectancy. Findings: results show that changes in life expectancy during 1970 to 2014 were associated with changes in state policies on a conservative-liberal continuum, where more liberal policies expand economic regulations and protect marginalized groups. States that implemented more conservative policies were more likely to experience a reduction in life expectancy. We estimated that the shallow upward trend in U.S. life expectancy from 2010 to 2014 would have been 25% steeper for women and 13% steeper for men had state policies not changed as they did. We also estimated that U.S. life expectancy would be 2.8 years longer among women and 2.1 years longer among men if all states enjoyed the health advantages of states with more liberal policies. Link to the study for those who can decipher these things. https://online library. wiley.com/doi/full/10. 12469. Here's my take on how Republicans have been systematically sabotaging healthcare at the federal level. 2. https://np. reddit.com/r/neo-liberal/comment/i5ils/rant_i'm_sick_tired_of_people_pointing_to_the/. Republicans are pro-life as long as you remember that to them life begins at conception and ends at birth. The president blackmailed governors into unsafe practices, quashed testing that would have saved lives, diverted resources for personal profit, directly encouraged the public to engage in unsafe practices, lied about both the danger and the extent of the pandemic, and used the pandemic to target political opponents. This guy belongs in a dock at The Hague. It is what it is. Trump killing more Americans than the Civil War. He'd kill you, me, and anyone else if he thought it would increase his chances of getting re-elected. The man is sick and obsessed with himself and the mighty dollar bill. America should be ashamed of itself. Fake news, said Fat Don. I've only killed a handful, and those bodies were never found. You'd be surprised how easy it is. A lot of people are calling it the Trump virus. It's hard to believe a president could be this callous and corrupt. It's hard to believe one person could get so many things wrong or do so much damage. But that's what happened. Trump knew we weren't ready for a pandemic, but he didn't prepare. He knew China was hiding the extent of the crisis, but he joined in the cover-up. He knew the virus was spreading in the United States, but he said it was vanishing. He knew we wouldn't find it without more tests, but he said we didn't need them. He delayed mitigation. He derided masks. He tried to silence anyone who told the truth, and in the face of multiple warnings, he pushed the country back open, reigniting the spread of the disease. Soon time for the Nuremberg trials. This is a long, but very well written article. I found myself doubting some things that were written. It's been a long year, okay. I'm just trying to take care of my family. I can't remember everything. But with the links to every point to back up the author's arguments makes it undeniable. Trump is responsible for 160,000 American deaths due to his incompetence. I voted against him in 2016 and I cannot wait to vote against him in November.